Gosh, you need to find God.
I still got some love deep inside of me.
Yo, what?
You heard me?
What do you
All
say?
It's like all the zesty stuff. I don't know. I forget.
Okay, you just quoted the
Fred
Flintstones.
I know I quoted the Flintstones.
Are you calling Fred Flintstone zesty?
Welcome back, everyone, to the Coconut Curry Podcast. If you're new around here, we are three college students at the University of Pittsburgh just chatting about sports and hopefully offering a fresh new perspective. Please like, comment, subscribe. It helps us out a lot, even if you don't watch the full video. And thank you to all the recent success on our posts. We had a YouTube short that went viral by our metrics and an Instagram post that upset many, many people.
It's time to put the mic down, guys.
Yeah,
Gotta
give up.
We had a time to put the mic down. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. Peter
Yeah.
caught heat for being a Giants fan. We had the whole grab. We have haters.
Yeah, we do. We have haters. I think we've officially made it.
You guys got to me. I quit.
We didn't have any supporters before, so
No.
haters are better than supporters.
Exactly.
Actually, shout out to the people who like the real. I think
Yes,
there's more
yeah.
people who agree with us than
Hopefully.
disagree with us. But disgruntled Eagles fans who will make the conversation very soon.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We officially gotten back for our second semester of year 4 of college.
Yay.
So this is why we're back in person over the video. So you'll expect a little bit different content, but we definitely flow a little bit better when we're in person like this. So speaking of those comments, we wanted to start off by going over some comments that happened. And this is mainly disgruntled Eagles fans. So if you haven't watched before, we posted a reel and YouTube short discussing how the Eagles roster hasn't changed that much. And Peter was saying that things haven't changed that much, so I don't know why they look so bad. And that's got a lot of heat. We had people pointing out the roster construction, pointing out the coordinators have changed, saying that that's just foolish talk. The Eagles have changed a lot. So, Peter, your response to these comments.
Okay. I just want to make one thing abundantly clear. Maybe I downplayed a little bit too much coordinators changing. That's my bad. Because obviously losing Joe Gannon and who's it? Shane Steichen?
John Gannon.
And Shane Steichen. Good. But let me be abundantly clear. These same Eagles fans that are getting pissed at me in the comments, crying about how bad you guys are, and about how, oh, boo-hoo, it's always us, Eagles against the world, but we suck now, so everybody needs to be fired. You are the same people that wanted Jonathan Gannon sent to Guantanamo last year after the collapse of during the Chiefs game. Same people. All right?
And you're 100% right, because people were cheering when John Gannon was taken away to the Cardinals because they were like, thank God he's not on the Eagles.
And you want to know what I said? I said, this is a drastic overreaction. You should not let Jonathan Gannon go. And they were all hyped. Everybody was so happy when he left.
I mean, even the entire media, when John Gannon got let go, was like, what are the Cardinals doing?
Like he's so bad.
So bad. And these are all the people like, well, the Eagles just can't handle the brain drain. But according to everybody else, there wasn't a brain drain because our defensive coordinator sucks.
Yeah. Like can Eagles fans in the comments that are going to get pissed at me anyway, can you all just agree on one take? Did you either want Gannon fired after the Super Bowl or not? I just need to know that. Because if you didn't want Gannon fired, then you can totally be mad at me. But if you are trying to say that Gannon should have been gone and now you're whining that your coordinators aren't good, I don't know what to tell you because that's just what you get.
But I mean, I think John Gannon leaving was viewed universally by Eagles fans as someone who consumes a lot of Eagles content, was universally agreed that was like a win, that we had succeeded in getting rid of him. And people were really pumped about Sean Desai, and people were pumped to have Matt Patricia as not defensive coordinator, but just as like a
guy in the building,
an advisor or whatnot. I think just there's a lot of things to go with that. No one is calling for John Gannon's job at Arizona right now. He's definitely got a 3-year leash on him. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, I think everybody playing in the comments, this guy thing that we lost a lot of players is a little overblown. Kaiser White, TJ Edwards were players that were mentioned as if those guys were like, yeah, they're probably better than what we had, but they're not Pro Bowl level players. They're not guys who are changing the way we play football.
Yeah.
People mentioned Javon Hargrave. Yes, but we signed one of the best defensive tackle rookies you'll probably see in a long time in Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter literally replaced him.
Yes. So, like, could you argue that Javon Hargrave is better than Jalen Carter right now.
Yeah.
100%.
But long term, you want Jalen Carter.
Yes, and like the disparity in talent between those two and their production right now is not super high.
Like
to be like, that's the reason our defense is so bad.
Because Jalen Carter did kind of fall off towards the end of the
100%.
year. But again, he's like 21, 22 years old. Like, he's going to be fine.
Yeah, and it's just not enough talent disparity for me to be like, because we lost Javon Hargrave, that's why the defense is so bad. And then people mentioned Sidney Gardner-Johnson. That was a big loss for the
That was a big loss.
So that was one person you really need to replace again. I don't really think you needed to like do an overhaul of the linebacker position. If you want to make an argument the defense, you can talk about the injuries.
Yeah.
Nakobe Dean gets injured. Zach Cunningham gets injured. Elias, our linebacker, gets injured. You can mention Darius Slay gets injured for the last 4 weeks. You had constant guys rotating in and out due to injury. Avonte Maddox didn't play for a majority of the year. Like, I think the argument for defensive injury was, I think the media is not covering at all. I've heard nobody during this between Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless and Nick Wright and all these popular, no one has talked about Darius Slay being injured during the Eagles' defensive skid.
Nope.
It's almost evaded any conversation as if a Pro Bowl caliber cornerback, the guy who you want to match up one-on-one versus CeeDee Lamb and Deebo Samuel and all these guys, is just missing from the lineup. And people are like, I've never seen a defense this bad in my entire life. Like, it's looked horrible, but you're missing your top cornerback with already a depleted and bad secondary. So just one of those things where I think people are focusing too much on the subtractions, which are, of course the defense is not as talented as last year. But if they were 80 defensively talented last year in terms of rating, I think maybe they're 73 now.
Yeah.
Maybe like they didn't lose enough to be this bad. They were a top 10 defense, I think, last year. Now they're a bottom 10 defense.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it up. And the brain drain, of course. But again, as Peter said, you need to believe that Jonathan Gannon should have stayed on the team last year. And then you can say the brain drain was the reason why. But if you were at all excited about Jonathan Gannon, if you at all slandered Jonathan Gannon for the Super Bowl performance and all that type of stuff, then you don't get to say that it's because we lost our coordinator.
Yeah.
You just don't get to say that.
Yeah.
And
something else that I think people abundantly missed in my take, I was saying that while it does suck that you lost the coordinators, there is something more going on, which is what was the point that I was trying to get across, but people just did not hear what I was saying. Because the whole thing is like, look, who's the defensive coordinator? What's his name?
Now?
Yes.
Matt Patricia. Well, Sean Desai, technically, but it's Matt Patricia's calling the plays.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, they're terrible. All right. Don't get me wrong. I was watching some film back at the Giants game. Like, there was like
Emmanuel Acho did a breakdown that made me want to vomit.
It was like legitimately there was 3 to 4 defenders covering 2 people in zone, and the Darius Slayton gets wide open. Like, that just should not happen at all. But it's more about the mentality. It's the Eagles gave up partway through the season, and it's so obvious that they did. They completely gave up. I don't know why, but they just did. It's like they lost to the 49ers, and then that was it. Like, their season was over. Like, they were shaky, but they beat the Chiefs, obviously on like a bad no call, whatever. But that was still a big win at the time.
And they held them, and I know Chiefs offense hasn't been prolific this year, but that they were coming off a bye. And they held them to 20. They held them to 14 points.
Like, look, I
think that was a 21-14 game.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't like. There has to be something else going on in that locker room. Like, there's more going on than just losing coordinators, because losing coordinators doesn't change.
21-17.
Yeah, like losing coordinators does not change a team like that, because no one has any spark. No one has any like edge to them anymore.
Especially
like,
Matt Patricia was in. I believe he was on the team last year.
Yeah, he was an advisor.
Was he still an advisor?
He was around the team last year. Darius Slay, Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox. These are guys who've been on. James Bradbury's been on the team for 2-3 years now. This isn't a situation that you don't have like the whole defense is overhauled. No one gets it. Like, there's veterans on that team who should be able to step up and be like, hey, we shouldn't be doing this or whatnot. So it's not as simple as just coordinators are gone. Like, I think coordinators, honestly, one of the worst excuses to use because of just like the injuries. And again, the players need to play better. There's been reports that Jordan Davis is super out of shape.
No,
which is not shocking to anybody. But when he's one of your defensive tackles you rely on, That's not great. Jalen Carter obviously slowed down a little bit. They have Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Josh Sweat, and they have Hassan Reddick. They can't get any sacks right now. I'm not sure they got a sack. They probably did end up getting one, but they...
Bro, it's the Giants. They definitely got a sack at some point.
Their pass rush didn't look prolific against a Giants team that has second all-time in sacks allowed.
The Giants were terrible pretty much all season. They were bad.
Yep.
I was screaming to stop airing these games. And yet, they beat the dog out of the Eagles. And I understand, okay, it was a closer game towards the end. The Giants kind of took the their foot off the gas, whatever. It was 24-0 at halftime.
Mm-hmm. With starters then.
With starters. Like, they could just completely gave up.
Yep.
And it's just, I don't know. There's got to be something going on in this locker room. I don't know if this is coming from head coaching. I don't know.
There was also a report to come out that the Eagles were like the most miserable 10-1 team ever, and someone was like, "Well, how miserable are they now?"
Yeah,
and that's like locker room vibes are totally an aspect of this, and this is something where I've been critical of Jalen Hurts because for all the professionalism and all the cool and calm at the microphone, enough with the inspirational quotes. I want to see a little bit of fire. Go up to the mic. We played horribly. This has to be better. Get fired up on the field.
Yeah.
If you're the franchise quarterback and you need to say, our offensive coordinator's calling bad plays, I say it. It's not professional, but get something going over here. So
yeah, or when you're going off the field after another 3 and out again, get in the offense and start yelling at them. Do something. Get them fired up.
Even if it's not within you, even if you feel like you have to kind of fake it a little bit,
just get somebody.
Do something. Patrick Mahomes is out here. They won their division and he's throwing his helmet down, yelling at guys.
He took that a little bit too far. He was a little excessive.
He was excessive, but there's a good level.
There's a good medium. There's a good medium to that
and whatnot. Raj, any comments to our Instagram and YouTube comments that were delusional?
Say it louder for the people in the back. I love the comments. I love responding to all the comments, just trying to get you guys to say more.
Keep commenting. We appreciate it.
Raj does love fighting his haters, so he will. Yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk about the Eagles more, but that'll be it for now.
Yeah.
Moving on to disgruntled moment of the week. If you're new around here, we talk about a moment of the week that we deem disgruntled, meaning angry or dissatisfied. I'm going to start here with Lakers fans.
Oh my God.
Lakers fans are certainly disgruntled. You are 10th place in the Western Conference. You have been 3-7 in your last 10 games. Nobody knows what's going on with the team. They're talking about firing their coach.
Didn't they just fire their coach 2 years ago?
Yeah.
That's
okay. LeBron's the coach of that team.
Their last place in the West, their 10th place in the West, which is the last spot for the play-in game. They're fighting with the Warriors, who have Draymond Green hitting folks, saying he was about to retire.
Oh my God.
So if there's anybody right now that's disgruntled, it is Lakers fans who might not make the playoffs this year or have to play from the 10 spot
Mickey Mouse
to get into that game.
Shut up, Patel.
So yeah, Lakers fans get my disgruntled moment of the week award.
Raj?
The streets of Oakland get my disgruntled moment of the week award because
you are disgruntled about.
I'm disgruntled about the streets of Oakland being dirty.
So you win the award.
So you win the award.
Yeah. Actually, your car wins the award.
Yeah, technically, yeah. Disappointment wins the award.
So can you explain to the audience why you're disgruntled about the Oakland streets?
No.
Please?
Yeah, no. So basically, I come home from the gym yesterday. Everything's fine with my car. So whatever, watch Natty. Then we move on. Then today, around 9:15.
Just drank a Natty for a minute. Why did you have to say that?
Oh, yeah. Also, side note, Michigan won.
Yeah, shocker. Anyways.
I was going to include him on the script, and then I forgot.
No, whatever. Shocker. Congrats, Mish. Yeah. Cheaters. Anyways. Yeah, so I get in my car at 9:15, and I get a tire pressure warning, and I'm like, that's normal. It's cold outside. Yeah. And I check, it's at 28. I'm like, whatever, that's normal. And then I got locked out of my class today. I was 10 minutes late. I was like, cool, I'm just gonna go home. Come home. I'm doing laundry and just getting some stuff done. And then I leave at 12:45 for my 1 p.m. class. I get in my car, and the warning's still there. I'm like, whatever. I go to check it. It says 17 now. I'm like, okay, I hope that's just an error. So I start driving, and as soon as I get to my spot and I park, I get out the car and I hear a whistling sound, and I'm just sitting there you've got to be kidding me. And I go to the back driver's side tire, and I looking and I hear the sound and I start trying to see where it's coming from. And to my surprise, I find a nail in my tire.
Lovely.
And then I'm like, well, I got to go to class. I can't really, day one, I'm not going to miss it.
Yeah.
I could have, but like I went to class, got back. I had 13.
You have a week one, you have to at least show up to class.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I had 13 PSI left in my tire and I made it over to this mom and pop shop right outside my house.
Yeah.
I get it there, 10 PSI left. And the guy goes in and he's like, okay, oh, don't worry, it'll take 30 minutes. I'm like, oh, cool. So I'm sitting there waiting. He comes back in and he shows me, he goes, man, where were you to get this in your tire? And it's a 3-inch nail.
Whoa, that's a big nail.
It is.
That's a big nail.
I just want to know where that nail came from, how it got in my tire. I don't know, but
so did they replace the tire or patch the tire?
No, they patched it.
Okay,
yeah. They don't need to replace it. I was about to say because I just got my tires replaced 6 months ago.
Yeah,
it'd be terrible.
It's also a terrible time to have your tires replaced or anything like that because
it's
completely snowy out here.
Yeah.
And the city of Oakland. I mean, we can just talk about it. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's
like
bad.
I woke up this morning. So my dorm that I live in is on a hill, and so I had to go downhill to get to the dining hall or anything. And they just didn't it was all slush this morning. I was small stepping to get down the hill because if I fall, I'm just gonna
you're sliding all the
way down the hill.
Sled.
Yeah, literally. Well, then you run into fifth traffic.
Oh yeah, you're gonna run into
so
a
that's
major
when you bail out right before.
abort.
Eject.
But I mean, yeah, just terrible streets. Peter, disgruntled moment of the week award
goes to Titans fans.
Oh yes,
dear God, what in God's green earth are the Titans doing? They went from an AFC championship game to obliterating their franchise in 3 years.
Yep.
3-4 years. It's wild to me. Because it was 2019 that they went to the AFC championship game. And it was, I'm really at a loss for words. So they fired Mike Vrabel after 2 bad seasons. This dude was the entire culture of the Titans.
Yep.
And they didn't just part ways with him. They didn't tell him we're in a rebuild, whatever. They fired him. So they have to keep paying this guy.
Yeah.
And he was a coach of the year a couple of years ago. I don't understand what they were thinking. Because everything good about the Titans is about to be gone. Everything good.
Yep.
Derrick Henry's about to leave.
He's gone. He said bye to the city.
He's gone. Your head coach is gone. You have Will Levis, I guess. DeAndre Hopkins.
Hey, then Malik Willis. Don't forget.
They hate him.
You were right on 2019.
Yeah, 2019.
Hey, that's going to be the next great slot receiver.
Okay, hold up. Because DeAndre Hopkins is only going to be there for 1-2 years. Then he's going to go to the Chiefs, I bet, or some stupid crap like that. And it's just why are you nuking this team? I don't get it. They're just, and they let Byard go. They let him go to the Eagles for nothing. You let AJ Brown go, and you paid him nothing. It's it's ridiculous.
And truthfully, even I know it's a divisional game. I know you got to do it. Even winning that game against the Jacksonville you lost 2 draft spots on it.
Okay, Justin, stop. Mike Vrabel would not tank.
Well, Mike Vrabel also just lost his job, and he won.
And you'll probably get be in a better situation after
he's going
season.
to the Patriots, and I'm going to be sad because they're going to be good again.
We'll get into that. Titans fans should be disgruntled again. I think they could have blown up the roster at the end of 2019 because listen, Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, not really much receiver talent.
They should have blown it up after that.
You were pushing the limits for what that team could do, but now you kind of didn't blow it up. You got a quarterback late. You didn't start him this year. It wasn't like he was the guy all year. Ryan Tannehill. I don't really know what the Titans' vision is, and even Hopkins. I was like, why do you guys get him? Are you contending? I don't think anyone thought the Titans were contending going into the year. Now you're gonna have no good running back, no good receiver, no good maybe an okay quarterback, a potential good quarterback, but not a good quarterback currently, and you're losing a good coach. So I know Vrabel was kind of on the fence about wanting to stay or not. So I don't know if this is more of he got fired because
he didn't.
They knew he wasn't interested in staying.
But then why did you try to trade him?
Yeah, exactly. Because he would he will be picked up by a team really soon. So That's a good pick, Titans fans.
Titans fans are in shambles. I feel so bad for them.
Speaking of shambles,
Oh boy,
the New Orleans Saints and Jameis Winston.
I respect Jameis.
Oh my god,
I respect him.
I feel like I had to address it just because
J-Bo.
this situation is very similar to Game Ball Gate. We discussed Game Ball Gate between the Pacers and the Bucks and how the game ball was missing. This is another similar situation because you didn't really know what happened in the game. Then you listen to post-game press conferences, and it kind of makes it more confusing, and you just don't really know what went on. So here's what happened. The Saints intercepted the Falcons at the end of the football game, and they were on the 1 yard line.
With how many seconds left?
With not a lot of time.
6 or 7.
6, 7
like
seconds.
nothing.
They're up 40-17, I think is the score, or 41-17. And they line up in victory formation like they're going to take a knee, and Jamal Williams runs in for a touchdown. Anyway, Arthur Smith, who just got fired,
Thank God,
is pissed. And after the game, they run into the middle, and he's like cursing out Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen's trying to be like, hold up, bro, whatever. Anyway, so everyone's kind of like, this is weird. After the game, Jameis Winston at the mic, he's a great interview.
He's so funny.
So funny. Is like, yep, it was a team decision. Like, we lined up, we got the call to kneel the ball, and we decided as a team, Jamal was going in.
I respect Jameis for that.
And some reporter was like, I just want to make it clear, like, so you like made the decision. He's like, no. The team made the decision. And he's like, oh, okay, well, do you think like it was not good to not listen to your head coach? And he's like, well, do you think it's not good to listen to the entire team?
He has a point.
He's like,
trying to spin it.
He's like, are you questioning the entire team?
Yeah.
So, like, who's in the right? Who's in the wrong?
Yeah,
what do you get from this situation?
Well, I guess the whole thing is like it's the unwritten rule of like, oh, you shouldn't run up the score when you're already winning and all of that. I am 99.9% of the time on the side of if you don't want them to score, don't let them score.
100%.
But my one issue is that they lined up in victory formation, which is like the big signal, like, hey guys, we're taking a knee.
And a knee ends the game. It's not like the knee.
Yeah.
You have to do 3 knees and they're going to call a timeout. It's like a knee straight up ends the game.
Yeah, it ends the game. Like, hey guys, it's fine. We're ending the game. Versus if they lined up in like a normal formation and actually tried to get into the end zone, I don't think the Falcons would have cared at that point because they're trying to get him fired at this point.
I think Arthur Smith would have been like, what the hell? But like not like a cursing out Dennis Allen.
Because the victory formation is my one. It's like, Jameis, what are we doing?
You know what? I respect it. And you know what? I don't care. Modern day V-Day for the state of Atlanta was when Arthur Smith got fired.
Yeah, that's
as
true.
soon as midnight hit, whatever day it was.
It was Black Monday. It was 12:02
like
on Black Monday.
I just get that notification on ESPN.
Arthur Smith fired.
I was like, they did not waste a single minute trying to get rid of this guy. That's the state of Atlanta should have thrown a parade.
The state of Atlanta?
Oh, the state of Georgia. Oh, wow. I cannot. Wow. The state of Georgia should have had a parade for his firing. That dude is a terrorist for what he did to that team.
Yeah. He had what? He had 3 top 10 offensive players.
How do you waste Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson? How do you waste them? And you think Desmond Ritter's the option?
Well,
or the solution? Terrorist.
The Falcons, I think, are actually. Well, we'll talk about it in a minute, actually. But I think they're sneaky good coaching. I thought.
Oh, a spot for like somebody. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
As for Jameis Winston, I think this is a referendum on Dennis Allen.
How do you not have control?
Like he should be fired. I know they kind of like insured his coaching spot for next year before the game, but he should absolutely be fired. Like, you clearly don't have the respect of your players. I can name 20 coaches in the league that if they said take a knee, you're taking a knee. Or I don't know if they had timeouts. The Saints should have called a timeout and been like,
do we want to try to get
Dennis?
Him in? Yeah.
Listen, Jamal wants a touchdown. I don't know if he's had one all year. Like, can we just get him in the end zone?
Yeah.
This idea that your players just went rogue and out of victory formation
just ran off
the score, not in a tight game, in a 23 point blowout. Like
that, the Saints had already been eliminated from the playoffs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing mattered.
Yeah. And so I don't think Jameis made a right decision. Stephen A. Smith went out and called for him to be cut from the team. You shouldn't ever do that because, as we've noted throughout this whole entire season, backup quarterback is one of the most valuable positions on a team right now. And Jameis Winston is okay at being a backup quarterback.
He is so entertaining to watch because you never know what's going to happen.
Yep.
You're
And-
either seeing a touchdown or a pick, no in between.
Well, and at least gives you a chance to win. Some of these other backup, like
Yeah.
Easton Stick, doesn't give you a chance to win the game.
Poor guy.
Not to take shots, but he doesn't give you a
AOC gives you a chance to win.
O'Connell. Oh,
Okay.
God.
But yeah, he gives you a shot to win, Jameis. So I would not cut him. I would just fire Dennis Allen. Because again, if Jameis is saying what Jameis is saying is that the whole team agreed. I believe it because Jimmy Graham tweeted like something, and he said "F the Falcons" at the end of his tweet.
Yeah.
So I think that the whole team did agree
But
on it.
I think it's the whole team besides Dennis Allen.
Yes, and that's the problem. And again, I don't think victory formations I think if Jameis Winston could go back in time, they probably should have gone into a spread or something and then tried to but also I think Dennis Allen would have just been like, no, timeout.
Yeah, timeout. What are you doing?
So that's the drama. I thought it was super funny listening to the press
Absolutely
conference.
hilarious. Jameis, I think you were like an idiot for doing that, but keep it up. It's so funny. I love it.
It's great. And
Please keep doing crap like that.
a great way for the Saints to stay relevant when they miss the playoffs.
Oh my God, so good.
And we touched on it earlier, coaching changes, just going through them real quick. Arthur Smith out of Atlanta, Mike Vrabel out of Tennessee, Ron Rivera out of Washington, and then those are the three that are fired, to my opinion.
So far.
And then Carolina needs a new coach because they're working on an interim.
Yep.
Las Vegas needs a new coach because they're working on an interim. The Chargers need a new coach because they're working on an interim. And then we have the Bill Belichick drama. I think that's everything.
Yeah, so
But
far.
speaking of the Bill Belichick,
and then Wink Martindale resigned from the Giants position.
he did?
Yeah.
Oh, they were going to keep him on board.
Yeah.
He's going for what is he going for?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Retirement.
He's probably going either for head coach or retirement.
Yeah.
He seems old, so.
Yeah, he is kind of old.
But he was coaching that defense. Up pretty well.
I love Wink, but I think his defense kind of has a bit of a ceiling.
Yeah.
Because he blitzes really heavy and that can be really good. But the issue is that he doesn't really, make his outside linebackers good or edge rushers.
Just
and
no position is good.
There's it's kind of just everybody's sort of the same player, and it's that's a really good strategy. But then it's you get an offense that could beat that, and it's
Oh no.
we're screwed.
He made it work with Kayvon Thibodeau and Dory Jackson, so respect.
Yeah.
So talking about the Bill Belichick drama, pretty much what happened is he met with Robert Kraft. Apparently, he's open to the idea of not being the GM, and he's kind of I'm not stepping down. So he's kind of either going to get what he wants or
He's either getting traded or fired.
Belichick got some dirt.
Oh,
dirt
okay.
on
So I was going
Kraft.
to say, I do think a reasonable option is if they get a general manager, he might stay if he's really
Oh,
happy.
yeah.
I'm
I'm saying for him to leave, he's getting fired.
And this
or
is where I
traded,
wanted to
yeah.
address this. If anybody actually thinks that getting Mike Vrabel and trading him for Bill Belichick or replacing him, that's such a lateral move.
Yeah.
I've never seen. The idea you're going to replace a defensive-minded head coach in Bill Belichick
with a defensive line.
his former player, similar style, practice hard, tough on players.
Vrabel's just the modern Belichick.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Not trying to compare goat wise. I'm saying similar style.
when historically, since Tom Brady left, your offense can't do a darn thing.
Yeah.
If you're replacing Bill Belichick, it needs to be with an offensive-minded, some dude or a young guy like D'Amico Ryans who's going to come in and develop a quarterback to play that position in an offense. Not getting Mike, who's just going to be Bill Belichick, but maybe a little bit more open to to the general manager and not picking. So I think the Patriots should roll with Bill unless there's another option that becomes really available. And this is something that I was going to talk about as well. Next, people are calling for Nick Sirianni's job. Who out there is better? And that's going to be a question around the entire league for people who want to be fired.
Let's remember that when they fire him and you're crying that they don't have a good head coach. I want to remember that.
No. We're getting John Harbaugh.
Because we can have a whole discussion on who should be fired, who should not be fired. But
You mean Jim, you idiot.
What's the difference? Whatever.
It's a tough look.
Oh, well.
There always needs to be the caveat: if you fire your head coach, who's better? So if you fire Bill Belichick, who are you getting that's out there on the market?
Matt Patricia.
You're not getting Jim Harbaugh.
Did you just say Matt Patricia?
Yes, I did.
Detroit Lions fans just had a heart attack.
Yes.
That man was a terrorist in Detroit.
Yup.
So if Bill gets fired, which he might, you've only got this handful of options that could be better, but they're not guaranteed to be better. So if I was Robert Kraft and Bill, and I don't know what Bill's head's at, I'd be like, listen, GM comes in, they're picking the players, and you can have some input on players, whatnot. And then also you need to get an offensive coordinator and let him continue. The Patriots defense was actually pretty good for the second half of the season.
Mhm.
Like played way above like their caliber. That's with Christian Gonzalez out, who looked really good.
He was
Matthew Judon got injured in the middle of the year. Like they were playing good defense. He can still coach a good defense.
Yeah. Like Christian Gonzalez literally looked like the rookie of the defensive rookie of the year for when he was playing.
And JC Jackson's back there. So.
He's been kind of okay. He's been fine.
And when you have
true.
And you're in a division with Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, Tua, Tyreek, Jalen Waddle. This is not the time to just like get rid of. Yeah, this is not the time to just like be a little different.
Yeah,
stay defense. We're gonna be a defensive team, and we're gonna win through that way, and then try to go get somebody who's from the Shanahan system to spice your offense up a little bit.
Really, that's what you gotta kind of do. Yeah,
and then try that way. That would be my advice. But again, if the page like the question needs to be stop being like everybody needs to stop saying
fire everyone
because you need to fill it up with the replacements. So this is my thing with Sirianni.
Yeah.
If say the Eagles lose to Tampa, I would not fire Sirianni no matter what happens this year. But if you want to say we're going to replace Sirianni with Bill Belichick, no problems. I'll let it happen. I wouldn't agree with the decision because I would just keep him no matter what, Sirianni. But I'd say, okay, like I'll totally move on to a better head coach. If you want to say fire Nick Sirianni and get Mike Vrabel, I'm here. I'm here for it. Like not going to necessarily agree, but I'll go for it. But if it's not those two people, who are you replacing Nick Sirianni with? Who you know is going to be better? And that's my question for all the head coach. Like everybody who says this person should be
fire this person, fire
it's
this
the same
person.
thing with the quarterback situation. Like who's better?
Yeah,
you're like Jalen play Mariota.
Yeah, literally.
And it's part of the debate we have with like picking quarterbacks in the draft. Like
just disgruntled.
Is that person going to be better? Like if we get Caleb Williams, is that better than Justin Fields? Who knows?
Yeah.
But for the coaching mindset, that's there. So that's just my whole thought in the coaching situation.
Yeah, that's yes, that is the take.
Because it's just ridiculous when people are like, fire this guy. And it's like, okay, well, then I'll have both my coordinators who have left and my head coach who has left. And this is the Eagles. So now we need a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator,
and a
new head coach. And
you're in a full rebuild at that point.
Frank Reich.
From the coaching standpoint. And then you're going to have Lane Johnson and Kelsey leave soon. So then you're really like,
I think Kelsey's done after this year.
I think he might be too. Back. So like at that point, like, it's just not worth all the coaching
this
changes.
Was our window.
Yep. We'll get to the Eagles later. And we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about the Eagles-Giants game because what really matters is what they do in the playoffs.
Yeah.
0-0. When someone knocks you down, you got to get right back up 10 times stronger.
Shut up, Jalen.
We're going to discuss two games that happened this past weekend. We usually discuss the whole slate, but a lot of them didn't matter.
Yeah, a lot of them. Teams were already out of the playoffs, so like it didn't really matter.
The first one I wanted to discuss was the banger on Saturday night, Texans versus Colts.
That was an amazing game. Oh, my God.
I cannot believe the AFC South looks that good.
Like, they are, yeah.
I mean,
so back.
Tennessee wasn't a pushover team this year. They weren't great, but
no, they weren't
still
great,
had some like big victories against Miami, and they beat Jacksonville in the last game of the season. And then it's just quite a log jam. It was almost like old NFC North, AFC North type energy where all these teams are stacked against each other. And I love the week 18, week 18 winner go home game style. And I mean, the game delivered. Both defenses played a perfect 23-19 is a great like defensive and offensive game. Like, it's not boring. It's not like, they're playing no defense. Just a fantastic game to watch on Saturday night.
Yeah. I mean, CJ Stroud's him. Like, period. Like, this dude is
that quarterback competency test. Really,
I saw everybody saying now that they got every GM in the draft is now looking for the stupidest quarterback. It's like, all right, who scores the lowest on this?
I think Stroud just didn't want to go to the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean that if he really tanked his score to not go to the Panthers and ended up there, I think all of Houston is going to be so happy for that. But let's not forget that the reason why Houston ended up with CJ Stroud instead of Bryce Young was because they didn't tank the last game of the year, the year prior, and the football gods smiled upon them and said, you know what? We're going to give you your dude for that. So
Davis Mills and whoever their coach was at the time.
Lovie Smith.
Lovie Smith.
Set it up.
Everybody in Houston should be thanking Lovie Smith so much for sending that Hail Mary. But
and they've just been great in the draft. Like Nico Collins, I know Tank Dell's not playing right now.
Will Anderson has been really good too. Like,
I mean, I'll give
Stingley's been solid.
I mean, we can give so much credit to the Texans organization. They lost Deshaun Watson in like this whole entire disaster.
And they just went full rebuild, and they turned it around
for a short period of time. It's not long ago that they were like the broadcast they're making the playoffs for the first time since 2019. 2019 ain't that long ago. There's a lot bigger droughts, and they turned it around completely. They have they have options all over. Like they have 2 rookie receivers who are just going to get better, a rookie quarterback who's just going to get better, a solid offensive line, a first-year head coach, and
young defense.
I love that they just said last draft, Will Anderson, he's our guy. We're going to trade this year's first-round pick to just go get him.
Screw it.
Because we think he's probably a better player.
We need a defensive anchor. We need a young guy to pair alongside of CJ Stroud.
And we're not waiting a year to see if someone could be better.
Yeah, because it's like we're never going to be in this position again.
And they did it, and they pulled it off great because their pick is above 18 this year.
Yeah. So that was a really, really, really good trade for them. Because they got 2 young guys to anchor their offense and their defense to really lead those guys. They're only going to be getting better. They had really solid. I mean, CJ Stroud really just turned that offense around completely.
So they essentially, there's some wiggle room around there, but they traded Will Anderson for Will Anderson. They traded their first this year. That's a 22nd pick. Will Anderson in this draft right now
would never fall close.
Fall close to that.
Yeah,
he's probably a top 5 player in this class.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about who else.
I don't even know who else.
Drake May, Williams, Marvin Harrison.
You're saying
this class. I'm saying if Will Anderson stayed another
If Will
year.
Anderson came out he's a really good. Yeah, he might.
He's not falling outside the top 10. I can promise you that.
No.
So it's a fantastic trade.
Yeah,
and that's
really
just because that's like smart people in your front office and D'Amico Ryans and
It makes me really happy seeing Houston be good. It's because
really rootable players.
Because they're all really likable. Like CJ Stroud is so humble. Like everybody counted him out and said, like, "Oh, he's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing. Like, oh, he's going to be a bust. He's another Ohio State quarterback."
Those people.
Rosh was those people.
That was really big of you to admit that.
That was really big of you.
I can admit when I'm wrong sometimes.
Sometimes. But yeah, it's like they're very young team. Like super, super like awesome. Also, D'Amico Ryans just like seems like just such a great locker room guy, and the fact that he was like the captain on the Houston Texans, then comes back, coaches, leads them to the playoffs in his first year. Like it's awesome. Sucks for the Colts. Want to make that very clear. Sucks that we didn't get to see Anthony Richardson versus CJ Stroud shootout at the end. Drop pass right there. I mean,
it's absolutely brutal.
It's heartbreaking, but again, like you had opportunities that shouldn't have come down to that. I think that's what, to the people that are sending death threats to an NFL player for dropping a pass, get a life, for the love of God. Like, who are you?
It's really not that deep.
Like, dude, it's a game. Can you calm down?
You guys, first off, Colts, you guys were not going to make it this far anyways.
I know, and it's awesome that the fact that they were even close to making the playoffs really says something about how much potential the Colts have.
Yeah.
Like, they have a lot of potential going into next year. Like, if they draft some weapons around, they need to draft some offensive linemen to help out Anthony Richardson. They get him a receiver. They got Jonathan Taylor. The defense is solid. They add some guys there. Like, they're going to be very, very solid. But for the love of God, stop setting death threats to NFL players. You absolute losers.
It's not that deep.
Okay, please. All right. Sorry, I need to get off my high horse. All right.
I just wanted to. I looked it up real quick. The Colts had the 17th best odds to make the playoffs this year, based on current projections. They were marked at a 20% chance to make the playoffs before the year started.
Dang.
And they finished it. They were in a win.
They were
that's
one
not
game
as bad
short.
The Texans were, I think, lower than that.
I'm not even bottom, basically.
But the Colts were one game away from winning the division.
Yeah.
Because the Jags lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like they were right in it.
Yeah. The preseason projection was, I think, they were 20% chance to make the playoffs to start the year.
Yeah.
And they did miss the playoffs, to be fair, but they were that close to doing it. So
yeah. A lot of potential for Colts. You'll be fine.
Yep. And I mean, Shane Steichen, like, listen, I mean, he's made himself one of the best coaches in the league from what he did this year.
And the part that drives me nuts is how everyone's like, why'd you take Jonathan Taylor out of the game? It's the right call. He was wide open.
Yep.
Like the dude was wide open.
Yeah.
It should have been a catch. Should have been a better
you
pass.
Have no idea. You have no idea if Jonathan Taylor gets out to the flat that quick. Or you have no idea if they don't put a guy on him.
They just throw a spy on him. Yeah.
Yep. Like, you just have no idea.
Like,
so
yeah, I don't know.
It was the right play call.
It worked.
Gardner Minshew didn't make a perfect throw, and the guy didn't make a good catch. That's football.
Yep.
It's sometimes it happens. Like,
yep. And this is again the value of having a good backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Shane Steichen knew Gardner from his year in Philadelphia, brought him over to Indy, and Gardner Minshew almost brought this team to a playoffs. Now he's not going to be as good as Richardson.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to having Richardson back for the next year. But yeah, great season for the Colts.
Hopefully he'll learn to stop, trying to get concussed.
Yeah, please, Anthony. For the love of God, you are so good at the football field and so much fun to watch. Please slide. I get it. You're huge. Just slide.
Yeah.
Save yourself.
And
Please.
for Jonathan Taylor, good for you.
Good for you.
Started the year off with all the drama about the team. And the final game of the season, win or go home, you have 188 yards, 30 carries, and a touchdown.
Like dominated.
You were the offense.
Yeah.
And you won a lot of teams their fantasy championship.
Yeah.
So
not you though.
That was a great game on Saturday. No. We can talk about that. That should have been my disgruntled moment of the week. Actually, we'll just cover it right here. I lost the fantasy championship to Peter in our one league because AJ Brown got hurt. Like I lost by 2 points. And it was because AJ Brown got hurt. And I think I have Jalen Hurts in that league.
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts.
Well, to be fair, you would have lost by a lot more if I didn't tell Peter to bench his guys
Yeah.
as soon as he was up.
But I think
so brutal.
I think even if Peter played his guys though, and Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown had decent games, like negative 0.6 was Jalen's total.
No, that was
AJ's.
AJ's, and Jalen was like 3.
Yeah, it was ridiculous the way to lose. But anyway, next game, Bills Miami. That honestly, I didn't enjoy watching the game.
It wasn't.
It was kind of boring.
It was kind of boring. There was a lot of punts. There was a lot of arm punts.
Yep.
There was
a classic vintage Tua moment.
There was a vintage Tua moment. Yep. Like it was
also a vintage Josh Allen moment where he rolls out the pocket. Someone's down there.
Yeah,
I feel like though this game was what both teams were. Like I feel like I got what the teams.
You got the floor of both teams.
Yes, and this showed me about like Miami can't beat winning teams.
No,
they've shown it all year, and they had a win or go home at home. They couldn't do it,
and Josh Allen showed us.
And Josh Allen for all of his throws but 3 was fantastic.
Yeah,
but he made two throws, 1 fumble.
Yeah,
and then those 3 plays, he was horrible.
Yeah,
and this is what the Bills should have easily blown Miami out. 3 possessions that were in the end zone. He 4th and 2. Had guy in the flat, missed it. Everyone talks about the interception. That was a punt at that point. But he had a guy open in the flat. He probably could have run for the first down as well. Like that was bad decision making. I'm not caring about the interception, but he had the opportunity there. He just threw an interception in the red zone. That was 3 points. And then he fumbled the ball in the red zone in field goal range. That's 9 points at a bare minimum. That's a 30-14 score. If you get 1 touchdown, you're at 34.
Yeah.
And this game would have been considered a blowout. And it's what they did to Miami the last time. So I'm out on Miami completely.
Oh, yeah. Because I think Miami's defense is just cooked with the injuries.
Yeah. But their defense is cooked. What about their offense?
We all know Tua is a Tyreek merchant.
Yeah, I mean...
A-Chain's regressed badly.
Well, it's their offensive line just is not what it used to. Like, I don't know what they were doing early on, but I think teams have just kind of figured it out. Mm-hmm. And the issue is like they are built for speed, and if they can't get those like yards after catch, they can't get these guys on like a one cut and go. Like they're not a ground and pound type of team. They're not like a quick like matriculate down the field where it's like you get 5 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards, 8 yards.
You get a lot of chunk plays.
A lot of chunk plays, like stuff like that. Like they're not built for that. They're built for the home run ball, and the second that they don't have that, they just kind of fall apart.
Oh, so Tyreek was looking like Kadarius Toney out there dropping a lot of passes.
Yeah, I mean...
Maybe because his house just got burned down, but...
Yeah, there's
a lot of drama, so whatever.
He's Tyreek going back to the Chiefs?
Yeah. Well, he is going back to Kansas City.
Well, yeah.
Against them.
Yeah.
And you give a lot of credit to the Bills. They had a lot of things going for them this season. Stephon Diggs drama, Sean McDermott, his comments.
Bye-bye Ken Dorsey.
Yeah, firing Ken Dorsey, bringing in Joe Brady. Josh Allen's, of course, on his roller coaster. They lose the first game of the year against the Jets, who had lost Aaron Rodgers in the first drive of the game. Like all this type of stuff. And you're the 2 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's...
Like after all that crap.
Yep.
You're the 2 seed.
And that's all that matters at the end of the day. You won the biggest
They
game
got
of
home
the
field
year.
advantage.
They did, and that's
huge.
Mafia.
It could go through Buffalo.
Yeah.
So, big credit to them. Miami. We'll see. We'll see here all the predictions with the playoffs.
Frauds.
We'll see what happens with the playoffs. I think I know what everyone's going to pick. Mike McDaniel obviously should not be fired.
No.
He should
my God.
No, but he should have to face serious questions about the way the offense is being run.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
the offense cannot play against good teams when they have the receiver and running back talent. Some of it's quarterback. Tua is clearly not dynamic. He might be really good in the
He's a very, very good pocket passer.
But he's not. Josh Allen was dynamic in that Bills game. Tua was not, and I think I kind of decided the game at the end of the day, even despite Josh's like horrible mistakes. Which I love that Sean McDermott at halftime, when like usually people run like the halftime interview before they run off in the tunnels, like we'll talk to the team to make some adjustments and we'll be good. He was like, well, we'd be up by a lot more if Josh just like held onto the ball pretty much. I was like, good for you, Sean. Like, just call him out.
Exactly. Well, because I mean, Josh Allen, he is just a gunslinger. Like, that's just who he is.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna get like the Aaron Rodgers where it's like he has like a 60% completion percentage and like a 5-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Like, you're just not getting that. You're getting a 2-to-1 interception ratio, and you're gonna like it because he's gonna put up 50 touchdowns.
The first interception was ridiculous. He didn't even look at the guy when he threw it.
No, he just hoisted that thing.
Yeah. The second one, I didn't really care about it that much. Just many other people are complaining about it. It was 4th and 2. Like,
whatever.
It would either been turnover. They actually gave him better field position by like punting the ball.
Yeah.
He missed players, which is what I was mad about.
It was mad about the decision, not that it was picked.
Not to the flat, but like not that it was picked. And then the fumble was like he was just so loose with the ball when he was getting tackled.
Yeah.
He really need to cover that up, especially when you're in field goal range in a tight game. So anyway, any thoughts on those games?
Nah. Week 18's over. Time for the playoffs.
Good job by the NFL for scheduling those games, because
those are pretty solid games.
To have two like big games like that in at night was awesome. Moving on, we're going to predict the NFL playoffs. So the way this is going to work is we're going to pick the entire playoffs, pick our winner, and everything like that. That being said, we can change our picks if things happen that are on our bracket. So, for example, if I said the Packers were going to win the Super Bowl and they lost to Dallas, you can come on the podcast next week and say, hey, I've actually changed my pick because obviously the Packers have been eliminated.
Yeah.
But we're still going to go by our initial like.
Yes, we're still going to call it, but then we'll end up changing it just based on.
We'll make some more projections. I'm not going to come back next week and be like, well, I'm not going to say
any more predictions because I'm wrong.
Because my guy's out.
Yeah.
We'll start with Wild Card Weekend, of course, coming up. The schedule actually for Wild Card Weekend is very interesting.
Yes, a lot of script going on.
Oh my God, those writers were. It's so obvious that the writer strike ended because the NFL is good again. It's so obvious.
Yes. All right. First game Saturday at 4:30 p.m. We have the Browns and the Texans. I am all over 100%. I don't think this game's actually going to be close. The Browns.
Yeah.
I saw the Browns -1.5, and I'm 21 betting in the state of Pennsylvania. I threw more money than I usually throw on the Browns covering -1.5 because I think first of all, the Browns played the Texans not long ago and beat the crap out of them. That was with CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
I think CJ Stroud's due for a rookie quarterback kind of trouble. The Browns play a lot of Browns play a lot of man coverage on guys. They kind of just line up and
Tank Dell's going to be out, so like it's going to be Nico Collins.
The Browns are off rest.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Oh God.
So I think this game could get ugly real fast. I love the Browns.
I want the Texans to win because I like CJ Stroud, but I believe the Browns will win, and that gives us an opportunity for a Joe Flacco revenge game against Baltimore, which would be insanity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Browns win. I think their defense is just really suffocating. Of course, if there was a team that could randomly pop off and just blow the doors off of the Browns out of nowhere, could be the Texans.
And that's why I'm riding with the Stroud boys.
You're riding with the Stroud boys. I like it.
Nice.
I like it.
I mean, I think the Texans could win this game. I think if they get really creative and try to do a lot of goofy stuff and try to catch the Browns off guard, maybe Joe Flacco kind of his shoulders start getting a little bit sore and a little bit stiff during the break.
If Will Anderson and the Houston defense is able to get home to Joe Flacco, I think that changes the dynamic of this game. Seriously.
100%. And we'll see how the offense adjusts. I think that Browns defense could really tee off on like Myles Garrett and whatnot, but we'll see. I think if Derek Stingley can kind of lock down Amari Cooper a little bit, you could be in for a game. But
of course, we're going to say that, but Amari Cooper is going to absolutely sauce Stingley.
I'm going to say that I might even put an alternate bet on there. I think the Browns could win by more than a touchdown.
Dang. Okay.
I just think they're the better football team.
I mean, I think they're just more experienced. I think.
I mean, Joe needs to throw less interceptions. He's a
gunslinger.
He needs to be a little less gunslinger in this game. Like, I think you can handle the Texans if you don't turn the ball over, but if you start giving them good field position, start letting them flow a little bit, the team gets really hyped up. They're a bunch of young guys. Like, let's go, we're here. So it's exciting though. I mean, Browns are gonna be playing on the road. So I really love the Saturday 4:30 game.
Yeah.
Next game is Saturday night. Dolphins Chiefs.
Chiefs. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be
just because I want to fade the Chiefs. Dolphins. Only reason why I just want to fade the Chiefs.
Dog.
I know I'm going to have to change my
this
bracket
is an official bracket.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm going to have to fade the Chiefs.
I think the Chiefs defense has been playing very well. They dropped off a little bit, but they're still playing very solid. And I think that with the starters resting, with Andy Reid being able to really kind of dial it in for this game, I don't think the Chiefs go far in the playoffs. I think they beat the Dolphins, though.
I just want to see Tyreek torch the Chiefs.
That'd be hilarious.
That's the only reason why.
Again,
the trouble with that is just the Chiefs have two really good secondary players in Trent McDuffie and Snead.
Yeah, well, not according to Jamar Chase, even though he got locked up, but whatever.
So, Tyreek's going to have a hard day. Chris Jones, it's going to be like -9 real fuel in Kansas City that week.
Because they're going to have no run game, too, because the Dane Belton. No, that's Giants guy. Bolton from Kansas City. He's back.
Yep.
He's like their younger linebacker.
Nick Bolton is really good.
Nick Bolton, that's what his name is.
And I mean, for him to have missed this much time, the Chiefs defense still be great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Nick Wright says, I'm not going to take credit for it, but he said, if the Dolphins don't want to tackle people in 60-degree weather in Miami, they're not going to want to tackle Isaac Pacheco.
Isaiah Pacheco is going to. Oh my God! I didn't even think about that.
And this is with the Dolphins who don't have.
Because he's a Jersey kid too.
They don't have Jaden.
Oh God!
They don't have Phillips. They don't have Chubb.
This dude's going to be a demon.
So I think the Dolphins are really going to struggle. I don't even think the Chiefs are going to probably throw the ball much. I think they're going to run the ball a lot.
I think they're going to pound the rock. Yeah.
Yeah, and just really try to just get out of the game without throwing the ball much. And the receivers could still sell the game. I think it's probably a low-scoring game, like Chiefs.
Yeah, I think it's an ugly game, but I think the Chiefs win it pretty handily.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot like the game that happened in Germany, where like the Chiefs were winning for a majority of the game, and they got a little bit close at the end, but. You're going with the Dolphins?
Oh, right, because Raj's phone needs to be charged, because his phone is never charged, ever.
I'm riding with the Dolphins.
Whatever.
Are
you just fading all of ours?
No.
Okay, I guess we'll see. We'll see.
I just don't.
Well, we'll really see here. Sunday, 1:00. It's a game that nobody, I think, really wants to actually watch. Is the Bills-Steelers game,
and I'm riding with the Bills. Let's be real.
I think this could be a really ugly game for the Bills.
Yeah,
I think it might be ugly.
We're going to see the Bills' floor, but the Steelers' ceiling is nowhere close to the Bills' floor.
I could see it being close early because Josh Allen just throws some stupid-ass picks or whatever. But then I think eventually they just pull away.
Exactly.
Because
I think this could be I don't know what the line is. I can try to look it up.
Because TJ Watt's out. Mason Rudolph is the starting quarterback, I think.
Yes. I think that's confirmed too.
Because it's going to come down to a shootout essentially.
Yep.
The Steelers are not going to be able to keep up with the Bills.
No, I like the Bills in this spot. I bet
Pickens pulls out the Tech 9.
All right.
The line is Buffalo -10. I just don't think the Steelers have a shot. The Bills are 5-1 against playoff teams this year. The one loss is to the Eagles, and that was overtime
field goal. Or no,
overtime. The 61-yard Jake Elliott in the rain field goal. In overtime in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I think they handle the Steelers.
Yeah. I think it would be hilarious if the Steelers won, but they won't.
I think a Colts matchup here would have been a lot more interesting.
Probably. But alas,
we have the Steelers.
It's a 10-point spread?
It's a 10-point.
Yeah, that's I just said that.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the other bets.
Oh, boy.
Packers, Cowboys.
I hope the Packers win this game so bad.
But for any media personality who's trying to make you convinced that the Packers have a shot in this game is crazy.
No.
The Cowboys are going to win. They're going to roll.
Joe Barry is going to put up a disaster class. They're going to put their edge rusher on CeeDee Lamb again. And CeeDee Lamb is going to have 500 yards receiving.
This is a 7.5-point line. I think the only trouble here is that Dallas sometimes in the playoffs tends to fold a little bit, so it could be a little bit closer.
Dude, if Dallas loses to the Packers,
Oh my god, it'd be so funny.
Oh my god, that would feed families.
I'm salivating thinking
The
about it.
NFL memes would be, they'd be so good.
See, I just want to be right, but I mean, I want the Packers to win this game, but I have the Cowboys.
Yeah,
winning.
the Cowboys are gonna win.
Like, as much as I want to see it, Cowboys are winning the game.
Yeah, and I just don't think it's a spot here where they have much of a shot. Again, I can see this game being something like the Commanders game this weekend, where like 7-7,
It's
14-10.
just like,
You're like, oh, they're in it,
maybe,
and
and
they
then
kind
it
of like
just
pull
pulls
away late.
Yeah.
Next game is Rams-Lions. Matt Stafford returning to Detroit. It's the upset a lot of people are going to pick, but I've been saying it for a while. I said it like 4 or 5 weeks ago when it wasn't even like a confirmed playoff thing.
You don't want to play the Rams. Yeah.
I don't think they want to play the Rams. I think the Rams win this game. I watched that secondary who were playing all their guys get toasted by Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson last week. Try Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
When they have rested, and
Hey,
Matt
don't
Stafford,
forget about Tutu Atwell.
Oh, I didn't want to forget him. I didn't want to. I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game.
I think CJ Gardner-Johnson might be back.
I don't know.
I forget his injury.
He legitimately might be back.
But
this
even
game.
like the rust.
Yeah, true. But that's my whole thing. Is like that could be the one X factor for that Detroit defense.
Yeah.
But if he's like not back at literally 100% playing in his like superstar slot corner safety fashion, then it's going to be really, really awkward if Matt Stafford beats the Lions in Detroit.
I think it's going to be a shootout.
I think it might be a shootout too, because like the defense, both defenses are okay. Their offenses are pretty high powered. So it's just like, I think this might be game of the weekend. I'm not gonna lie.
100%.
51.5.
I mean, they had the best
51.5. Holy crap.
Yeah,
Cowboys
I think
Packs
so.
is 50.5.
What is that? 27-25.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Rams will.
One.
I think Rams will win. I just think their quarterback, who's been playing really well, and their receivers are going to get to Detroit. I think they'll be able to do enough defensively. Lions really haven't played their best football at the end of the year. They've been
they kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, they've had some tight games. By no means do I think the Lions can't win this game. I don't think since a lot of people are going to predict the upset, it's like, oh, the Lions are just now the lame duck team. I think they can completely win this game, but especially when you know there's going to be an upset or two, I'm taking the Rams.
I got the Lions solely because I just want to see the Lions-Cowboys rematch. This can go 50-50 in my opinion.
I'm going Rams. I think they could upset them.
I think they can too.
Yep. And then part of the reason this would be a great script if this happened is because I do think the Eagles are going to beat the Bucks, which means we're going to have Eagles, Cowboys, and Rams, 49ers.
Oh,
second
fully divisional round.
Oh.
I mean, the 49ers dog walk the Rams, but
yeah.
Still, like, I guess the Rams kind of keep them close. They usually play them like closer, but I think the 49ers coming off a rest is going to be horrifying.
Hey, listen, they're 1-1 this season.
True,
they are.
That is true.
Carson Wentz.
Yes,
Carson
sir.
Wentz, yes sir. That, yeah, because then it'll be. I do think for as much. Oh God, am I really about to say this? For as much shit as I've talked, I still think the Eagles will beat the Bucks.
I was shocked when I saw the line was -1.5 for the Eagles, but I started thinking about it. And this is I'm not trying to even.
The more I think about it, the less faith I have. I'm just not gonna.
The Eagles are now -3 odds. They were -1.5 the other day.
Okay.
As much as I hate the Eagles right now, and as much as everybody in the city of Philadelphia wants to like destroy everyone on this team, the Buccaneers are not a good football team. The Eagles are getting Slay back. They're getting a little bit healthier.
Is AJ Brown gonna be?
AJ Brown should be playing.
Okay.
Smitty might be.
Everyone's annoyed with Jalen Hurts' finger. Oh, maybe the injury. Listen, Jalen Hurts hasn't been throwing the football that well this year. I'm not really concerned about his finger being hurt. And I think they can kind of game plan the hell out of this matchup. I still have this little bit of hope, but they really have been hiding their playbook.
That would be the funniest thing.
There's no way Brian Johnson is this bad at being an OC.
Dude, if he could you imagine if out of nowhere they just are firing all cylinders?
I think there's a small chance they definitely have something in store that's a little bit more creative.
It seems like something Sirianni would do too.
When you're struggling on offense to run so little motion and things like that all year, it does beg the question why they aren't doing it. And it's not me saying they lost these games intentionally to fool everyone. I'm not saying they did that.
Yeah.
But I do think there's a chance that they kind of come out and run a lot of interesting looks the Bucs aren't ready for.
Yeah.
It'll be really interesting. Kalijah Kancey's been having a great year.
He has.
So it'll be very interesting on like the defensive front, how we run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So I'm going to take the Eagles.
Same.
I don't feel great about it,
but
I'm going to be stressed. But this is also a Bucs team that beat the Panthers this week, and they had to play
3 field goals.
Yeah, 9-0. They beat the
still beat them by 2 scores.
Carolina Panthers. And they played close against the Panthers the week before that as well, right? I think that wasn't a blowout game either. I'm trying to look back.
I don't think they've had a divisional blowout. All their games have been close.
Yeah. I mean, like the Bucs are an interesting story. I mean, shout out to Baker Mayfield for having a
Tampa
good year.
Baker.
But yeah, they beat the Panthers second time 21-18. So it's not as if they are blowing out the Panthers, which are the worst team in the league. So for this matchup, I'll take the Eagles. But like I said, there's a chance Chris Godwin and Mike Evans cook us and we get
Oh God.
But to quote Jalen Hurts, football, it needs 302%, 100% body, 100% mind, 100% heart. How much could I give? But I give till I can't. That's like
oh no, guys. Raj's mic isn't working.
Mic
oh no.
Out.
Raj, your mic is cut, buddy. Okay, I'll take.
That's the best part. It's an AI generated Hurts quote.
Well, unfortunately, your mic got cut
Oh,
mid-segment. So.
wow.
Win, lose, touchdown, all that.
Oh no, guys, your mic got cut.
No, this one's a good one.
All right.
Well,
Let him cook.
Let me on. Let me get your mic. Okay.
Now let's play a game called "Is this Jalen Hurts or AI?"
Okay.
Win, lose, touchdown, all that. We need more, but we give a mouse a cookie. Then what? We're playing two extremes.
AI
Too
generated.
extreme. Keep it real. Stay true. Main thing. Soul. No soul. You got nothing.
Main thing is Jalen Hurts, but the mouse of cookie. You lost me there.
Wandering, the truth must dazzle gradually, or all men go blind.
Okay. So if you're ever worried about AI taking your jobs, not yet.
I kind of like this game. AI or Jalen Hurts?
Oh God.
We should do it next.
We'll do it. That'll be one of our next bits. But who's next?
So that is the wild card weekend.
Yeah.
So we made our predictions. We spent a little bit more time on that than we'll spend on these future predictions, just because
We have no
these
idea
might
what's
not
gonna
actually be the matchups.
Yeah.
But in my hypothetical scenario, the Browns would be going into Baltimore,
Yeah.
and I think the Browns will win that game.
God, please, that would hit like crack. Oh my God.
Too many good storylines.
Again, I'm not saying the Ravens can't win. The Ravens had not lost many games this year. One of them was to the Browns. The Ravens are going to be on 2 weeks of rest. Lamar Jackson has not been a great playoff quarterback in his career, even though he's going to win an MVP.
Dude,
The Browns would theoretically, in this case, in my scenario, be rolling because they just destroyed the Texans, which I think they might do. And divisional game.
God.
Does it Joe Flacco?
That would
returns?
hit it, Joe. If playoff Joe walks back into Baltimore and beats the Ravens when they're the 1 seed with the 6 seed Browns,
Yep. 5 seed.
5 seed Browns, the team that he tormented for over a decade.
Yep.
Oh my God, that would be so good.
And so I think it might happen.
You know what? I don't care if it doesn't happen. I want that to happen.
Yes.
I don't care if it makes sense or not. That's what I want.
Peter, in your scenario too, you have the Browns going to Baltimore.
I would still have them going to Baltimore anyway. And I still, you know what? Whether or not they win, I don't care. Brown time, baby. Let's go.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
And then in my scenario, I have the Dolphins. They're gonna get smoked.
Dolphins going to
No, it would be
Baltimore.
Houston.
No.
No,
Oh, no. Houston would be the lower seed.
because
Yeah,
Houston's 4.
Yep.
yeah, Houston would be
Dolphins
4.
going to Baltimore, and
I have the Ravens winning that game.
Yep.
Let's be real.
Yeah, that makes sense.
then on the other side of the bracket, I have the Chiefs and the Bills playing
Again.
against conventional wisdom because I've gone against it. Well, for conventional wisdom, I've gone against it other times on this pick. It's hard to beat a team twice. So the
Are
Kansas
you
City,
going with the
the
Chiefs?
Chiefs are going to walk
Oh
into
my
Buffalo
God.
and handle business. Again, I'm picking against it other times, but I think it's hard to beat a team twice.
Dude. Oh, I mean,
The Bills going 6-0 to end the year. Find their
It's
run
hard to
short.
it's hard to go against Spags too because he. Oh God, I don't know.
And do we think there's a little bit of the maybe Eagles thing where it's like, oh, have the Chiefs opened up their full offensive playbook?
Could you imagine
Oh
if
my
Kadarius
God.
Toney goes for like 100 yards every single
Oh
game
no,
in
we're gonna get
playoffs?
the Kelsey Bowl again.
Oh God.
Dog,
Oh.
dog, I can promise you we're not getting Kelsey
You're
Bowl.
right.
I'm hyping up the Eagles against the Bucks, but the Bucks stops there.
good fun there. Yeah, because what? So I would have the same thing then. Because
Yeah.
then, you know what? Give me the Ford F-150. Give me Josh Allen. Give me
Allen.
the Bills.
I mean, I think that would be a great that will get the primetime slot.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Bills and the Chiefs.
100%.
It'll be the first time the Chiefs are on the road in that spot.
Yeah.
Which would be very interesting.
Oh wait, no, weren't they on the road the one year? Wasn't the coin toss year? Weren't they on the road?
Oh, I can't remember.
Coin toss year? No.
They might have been because that wasn't the AFC Championship game, right?
There was
The Chiefs have been in the AFC Championship.
Oh
game
no!
at home.
Coin toss was at the Chiefs. There was a year before that, I think, that the Chiefs beat the Bills.
At
That
Buffalo.
was in Buffalo. I'm
Yeah.
fairly certain.
I'm just not concerned about the Chiefs on the road that much, so that's why I'm going to take them against Buffalo. So yeah, that's me.
And then in my scenario, I have Bills Texans. I have the Bills winning that.
Yeah.
The Stroud boys stop there.
So we'll keep going AFC here. I have the Browns and the Chiefs, and unfortunately, I think the Chiefs find themselves back in the Super Bowl.
There's no way. After everything you have said this year about how bad the Chiefs are, that just like they're going back to the Super Bowl.
I've also said that the Chiefs should be the odds-on favorites all year because I believe that they'll get the job done. And I think if Baltimore was there with them, it'd be different. But I really do believe the Browns are going to beat Baltimore. And this could all go to crap if the Texans beat the Browns this weekend, and then the Baltimore gets to the finals. I do think if it was Baltimore, Kansas City, I think Kansas City loses. But because specifically the Browns and Kansas City, I'm taking Kansas City to make it back to the Super Bowl. Again, I will sit here and change my prediction if the Browns lose this week to the Texans, because I do think Baltimore will then run through it.
Yeah.
But with the scenario presented and what I think will happen, the Chiefs are going to find a way back to the Super Bowl despite having a really bad year by their standards.
Oh my god, Rush.
But you have the same.
Oh no,
scenario.
I have the same thing. God damn it.
So who are you picking?
So I have Browns Chiefs.
Are
Wait,
you
it's
sending
a rematch
Yeah.
of the AFC Championship from a couple years ago.
Are you sending the Browns to the Super Bowl with Joe Flacco? Yeah, that's why.
You know what? Give me playoff Joe. Give me January Joe. I want him.
And with my delusional pick, I have Lamar having a vintage playoff moment at the first seed and losing to Josh Allen. And the Bills finally go to the Super
Bills
Bowl.
go 9-0 to end the
And
year.
all I'm saying is, I said the Bengals were going to the Super Bowl that one year, and they did. All
That
I'm
is
saying.
true. Yeah, you did
Just
predict that.
saying. The AFC is my masterclass for some reason. When I guess these
What
picks,
happened last year?
I forget what happened last year.
Oh, you had the Eagles winning, I think.
Yeah.
Last year, I said the AFC was my masterclass. I never said anything about the NFC. The
Fair
NFC, I've usually been
Fair
wrong
point.
about.
So you've got
Touche.
Bills playing the Ravens. Bills win that, and then we've got Browns Chiefs. I got the Chiefs winning that. You got the Browns.
Oh my god. I can't believe I just said that. I can't believe I just said that.
The Browns and Chiefs are an interesting matchup. That would be a really fun
Yeah.
game.
Good lord.
I think the AFC is
Baltimore, you better just make this a normal. Do I want a normal playoff? Not really.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? No, Baltimore, you can lose.
Yeah,
Sorry, Lamar.
there's a lot of storylines that are interesting in the AFC, like the Dolphins' potential. The Chiefs are not playing well, but they've got a great defense and a great quarterback. And then, like the Browns are like the unknown with Joe Flacco. Is it just a fluke? And then you've got the Bills who keep winning the games, but not by a lot. And then you got the Ravens, who Lamar's been bad in the playoffs, so you don't really know, even though he's really good. So there's so many question marks in the AFC playoffs. I could just see a scenario kind of like Raj presented, where the 2-seed Bills get through, the Ravens get through, Ravens go. And you're like, wow, that was really not exciting. But also, I think it could get a little messy, like kind of my scenario.
Yeah.
Here. So then on the NFC, I feel like we're going to all have a similar conclusion. In my scenario, it'd be 49ers playing the Rams and then Eagles playing the Cowboys. I would have the Cowboys winning against the Eagles, which would stink so bad. Like I'd be so upset.
We're to be the team that sends the Cowboys to the conference championship game is going to hurt, but our team is cooked.
That's why you kind of got to hope you don't get into that game.
I know.
Right.
I just said it's
Right.
hard to beat a team twice, and that's why I took the Chiefs. But the Eagles got destroyed in Dallas.
This would be 3 times too.
Yeah.
This would be the 3rd matchup this year.
Yeah, and the last time the Eagles went into Dallas, they got cooked.
They're also like just the way they're playing. They just have no
Mhm.
momentum.
Yeah.
Like,
Now this is a sneaky spot where the Eagles could right the ship.
They open up the playbook. They turn to page 2.
They get a little bit of momentum coming off the Bucks.
Suddenly, Reed is an all-pro safety.
Yeah, suddenly.
I mean,
he's not getting torched by Darius Slayton.
This game right here is an opportunity for the Eagles to stop all the negative talk for the year and say, we made it back to the NFC Championship, beating our division rival.
Yeah.
That's a spot for them.
They could shut everybody up, but they won't.
They won't.
Yeah.
So the Cowboys will go to the NFC Championship game, playing the 49ers, who are going to
beat the Rams.
Walk over the Rams. Yeah. And then the 49ers are going to do exactly what they did to the Cowboys.
They're going to pants them.
And pants them.
Yeah.
And they're going to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Where, in my scenario, the 49ers will win the Super Bowl and become the 2023-2024 NFL champions.
I kind of got... The NFC is a lot less interesting.
Because you had the same scenarios as me.
Yeah, because, I mean, the NFC is a lot less interesting just because of, like, how good the 49ers are. Because, like, they went on the skid. They did. But then they really came right back in their own.
The skid was short-lived.
The skid was short-lived. The only team that I could see beating them would be Baltimore. And if Baltimore somehow doesn't make it because of some random crap in the AFC side, then it's over.
Yeah, Baltimore is the team.
Yeah.
But they could lose. And then if they're not the team, then there's so many other teams that are just log jammed. Like, I would say it's the Ravens at the top, and then it's just a whole line of, like, Bills, Chiefs, like Browns maybe is like the next tier, those three, and then you've got a little bit of tier underneath. But I mean, the Chiefs could just lose in round 1 because they haven't been playing well.
So I have Browns, 49. Yeah, 49ers win.
Oh,
sorry.
So you think the Eagles are losing, and then okay, so we got a similar.
It's like the same thing because it's like it's a lot more predictable. I feel like just because like we literally have seen those teams.
I do think the Browns 49ers would be interesting.
That would be a really good Super Bowl
in terms of like how the Browns play defense.
Because it's 2 really good defenses.
Like a lot of man coverage for a quarterback that we don't know if is dynamic, and Brock Purdy, a big spot. Be an interesting game.
It would be. I think because of how good both defenses would be, it would then be pushed on the offenses to be creative and figure something out.
I just wonder if that's where Joe Flacco's like
January Joe. I guess that'd be February Joe.
But is February Joe there? Is it?
Is it
kind of like Joe Biden where you just hit the end of the road a little bit,
just finally crashed? Or, I mean, look, if this dude, maybe he's going to talk to Aaron Rodgers and take whatever ashwagandha or ayahuasca, whatever the hell, and turn into a demon in January. I don't know, but that would be
all right. So 49ers, Browns, 49ers pull it out.
49ers,
and then Raj.
So in my scenario, I have Cowboys playing the Lions, and I have the Eagles playing the 49ers. So I have the Lions being the Cowboys.
That'd be hilarious.
Dan Campbell gets his revenge.
That game is. I want the Eagles to win, but that game is a situation. Well, they could win and still play the 49ers, like your scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But that's Rams, Lions at Cowboys.
Yeah.
Cowboys, Lions at Cowboys after what just happened with the refs is a super fascinating.
If that rematch happens, that'd be ridiculous.
I would say actually, like, I'd rather the Eagles play the 49ers because I don't think the Eagles are going far anyway. So I would rather the Lions and Cowboys play just because I want to.
That'd be so cool.
The storylines, everything, like.
They run the play again.
Honestly,
dude, could you imagine? I
mean, they ran against in week 18. They had Decker Report.
Yeah, they had Decker Report as eligible again. Yeah, that's hilarious.
So I think your scenario is just fascinating. To have the Lions go back into Dallas to be like that last matchup fluky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, I have the 49ers steamrolling us.
Yeah. And then after that.
Then I have the 49ers beating the Lions.
Okay.
That's what. And then I have
49ers Bills.
This is where I am going to be very delusional. I think Bills. I think I have the Bills winning.
Oh my God.
There's no rhyme, no reason to this. I just think this, after everything that has happened this season, I think Brock Purdy and the 49ers finally,
they meet their match.
I think, because you have Josh Allen who will just do anything, and that one game he'll finally do everything right.
Say it to the camera. Who do you have winning the Super Bowl against who?
I have the Bills beating the 49ers in the Super Bowl. Dude. And this is not my delusional one. My delusional one's the Eagles winning.
Oh my God.
My delusional one's the Eagles beating the Bills.
Oh my God.
In the Super Bowl.
I mean, the Bills are an interesting team just because of their record against
and how much momentum they have.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They'll have to get Josh Allen playing good, but I mean, 5-1 against playoff teams, that's legit.
Did you have the Chiefs in the Super Bowl last year?
I don't remember. I think I did.
If you go 3 for 3 in Super Bowl predictions,
I didn't go through. No. I think I'm 2 for 2 in AFC. I think
you're 2 for 2.
I think I had the Chiefs.
You
going
got
to
a
the
shot
Super Bowl.
at going 3 for 3 in. I think you did.
Yeah, I did have the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I
because
don't think we made these predictions on the podcast. I don't remember what he said.
I think I had the Kelsey Bowl because I was sitting there. We were
Yeah.
making predictions. I was like, do I want to see the Kelsey Bowl or do I want to see Joe Shiesty versus Jalen? But I was like, I think the Kelsey Bowl.
Yeah. Good Lord.
What's your what if scenario of the playoffs? Like if this thing happens,
If Baltimore loses, it's going to be chaos.
yeah, that's
It's
your-
anybody's game.
My what if is what if Jordan Love replaces Aaron Rodgers this year, walks into Dallas? What carnage would ensue? I mean, not only would it just
Dallas would burn to the ground.
Yeah.
I think.
I know.
Or sorry, Arlington. That's where they.
That's like my scenario where I think a lot of other matchups they lose. You're like, oh, even if the Dolphins beat the Chiefs, it's like, well, the Chiefs weren't playing that well.
Yeah,
The Dolphins' electric offense, it happened. A lot of Steelers beat the Bills.
Yeah.
Well, Josh Allen self-imploded. They were playing 6-0 football. It was due.
Yeah.
And the Bills just had an up and down year. Like that's how it ends.
My what
But-
if is what if the Steelers beat the Bills?
Shut up. Shut your mouth.
I mean, that's yeah.
Will
that's-
Mason Rudolph be the starter next year?
Oh, gosh.
Apparently, Russ might go to come
Dude,
to Pittsburgh.
just
Who knows?
stop listening to Steelers fans.
You're right.
They just start
But-
talking.
If the Cowboys, not only would it just make the bracket super interesting,
Yeah.
but it would just be a
Oh
complete
my God.
this is supposed to be their year.
If they were gonna win the Super Bowl, this would be it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll happen, but that would be the biggest
Dude, it would be so
It would blow
funny. Jordan Love, I am begging you. Do you have the opportunity to do the funniest thing you have ever done in your life?
And I would watch the game because I think Matt LaFleur is going to do a lot of interesting offensive things to try to get that team to put up points. I'm not sure that's going to work, but I think you can see a lot of very interesting plays to go on. Gosh, it would be. I would sacrifice the Eagles losing to the Bucks just because I don't think they're going far for the Packers to walk into Dallas and win. Oh my God. But Bucks is a second round playoff team. So then you'd have the 49ers
against
playing-
the Bucks.
No, it would be 49ers Packers versus Bucks and the winner of the Lions and Rams game.
Dude. It's the annual 49ers versus Green Bay playoff disaster class. Oh,
Jordan
God.
Love and the Packers was like 40.
Yeah.
Gosh, but yeah,
Good
those
Lord.
are our predictions.
I'm
so
so excited for these playoffs.
I'm excited as well. There's a lot of if we just go through real quick the week 1 storylines, it's Joe Flacco and the rookie-led Texans. It's an interesting game, 4-5.
Stafford,
Tyreek Hill returned to Kansas
Kansas City.
Stafford back to Detroit.
Stafford back to Detroit.
Even I think Bills Steelers is like the least interesting, but even then it's like Josh Allen could implode.
Yeah.
Like you just don't know. Packers, Cowboys, 2 historic franchises.
Are the Eagles gonna the bed?
And I think
Des didn't catch it.
I would say if you want to say any games like the 2 boring games, Steelers, Bills, Eagles, Bucks, sure. The Eagles, Bucks, I think is an interesting game. And some people are wondering why they got Monday night. I think it's interesting because
You don't know what's gonna happen.
you don't know what's going to happen. You don't this is the Super Bowl representative from the NFC next year having to play a game against Bucks who aren't good on the road. You're just wondering, can we see any shred of a Super Bowl team?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we might see a shred.
All
Because when
right,
they
you
open
got
up the
faith.
their playbook was 3 plays big all year.
And then they went
They're
to page 4.
Yep.
We're very delusional, guys.
God, but could you see it? Like, if there's any guy to do it, it's Nick Sirianni.
Good Lord.
That announcement at Monday at 11:45 p.m. saying the Eagles
Thank
have
you,
relieved
fans.
Nick Sirianni of his head coaching duties, and the thank you fans post is going to go crazy.
The thank you fans post is gonna hit like crack from the CIA in the
Yeah.
80s.
Oh God!
Well, boys, great pod. As
When's
always,
baseball season?
it's been this will be an interesting playoff. I will be back here next Tuesday when we're recording, probably released on Wednesday, to break down what kind of happened in the playoffs and then make our next round predictions.
I can't wait to start screaming about that.
It'll be a fun one. Gosh, NFL is so back, baby.
It's so
Yes,
back.
sir.
It's so back.
If you've gotten this far in the podcast, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps the algorithm a lot. And yeah, make sure you comment on our Instagram clips
Yeah.
if you want to be featured in the next episode, or if you don't want to be featured, I wouldn't comment.
Just make some people mad in the comments.
Please comment. I like responding.
Just start saying things. Why not?
We'll see you next time.